This is one of those great untold stories. When Charles Mingus passed, a great giant of American culture passed, and many people didn't know who he was, and many people won't know. They don't teach him in schools like they should. So this is hopefully a glimpse at a giant that will help not only enlighten you about who he is, but enlighten us all about who we are. I'm Barry Shabaka Henley, mostly known to you as an actor, but I am writer and creator of Mingus Remixed, a short film on the life of jazz giant Charles Mingus.
The three faces of me, the good, the bad, and the hater of self. Oh, but the joys of dancing. You will never understand the beauty of it until you're unable to.
This film, Mingus Remixed, is really a kind of visionary look at the last moments of a great artist's life. And what we're trying to do here is, in a small way, recapitulate this man's very fascinating life in a very sort of imaginistic, strongly visual way, so that we get at the sort of multi-dimensionality of an artist's life.
For me, it all started with a stage play that I'm working on, which is the genesis of the Mingus Remixed project. And it all started with a piece that I wrote called The One Good Thing About Slavery. And that is jazz, American music, African-American music, which I don't think, if there was no slavery, perhaps may or may not exist today. And out of that agony and pain, jazz was a beautiful response to it, a beautiful coping mechanism. And I think that sharing this with the world, it's something that I've been on a mission for a long time with. American culture is very complex, very diverse, very multicultural, and I think Mingus, within his own person, exemplifies all the contradictions and the beauty that exists in our culture.
I was really drawn into the project because of Shabaka and his passion for Mingus, and that he had to tell the story about his life and really introduce the world to the music, and also just really knowing Shabaka as an actor and knowing how that passion was going to deliver a stunning performance. It really was sort of the draw for me, and truthfully, as I got into it, I also was just really sort of mesmerized by Mingus's music. So that was really why I said, we've got to see this through, we've got to get it made.
Outside of the great characters that exist in there's a piece that Charles wrote called Epitaph, which is the longest jazz composition in the history of the music of jazz. And in the film, we interspersed a performance of Epitaph where we're going to be collaborating with a local Los Angeles orchestra called the daKah HipHop Orchestra.
I think Mingus Remix is important for a couple reasons. First and foremost is to just let people know about Mingus's music, because even though Mingus has been dead now for 35 years, there's a lot of musicians that kind of like, they don't really dig into his music the way that musicians should, I think. It's my own opinion. There's a lot of information in Mingus's music. Harmonically, there's one of my teachers in school called Mingus the living example of the two-part principle, which means that you can take any two lines of counterpoint and put them together and the melodies should be able to work. Why I'm most excited about this project is a reapproach to his final piece, Epitaph, which was like his magnum opus, huge multi-movement, couple-hour suite written for a 32, 33-piece orchestra. And as I've been listening to the music, I started imagining, well, Mingus, the way he wrote it as a double big band. And coming from my time, my generation, I look at it like Mingus looked forward into the future after the invention of hip-hop. So like, you have a big band on this side of the turntable and a big band on this side of the turntable. And the way it's written is there's a lot of call and response in the piece. And so what I would like to do for this project is to set up the orchestra kind of like two turntables. So you have a drummer, like a whole big band over here and a whole big band over here. And so you really get that call and response phenomenon that he orchestrated. And we have all the musicians we have right here in LA to pull it off. So I think it's achievable, and I'm stoked to be part of the project. I think Shabaka makes a great Mingus.
Shabaka, as some of you well know, is quite a well-known actor. He's had a long, very interesting and successful career. Some of his credits include Collateral, The Terminal, Miami Vice, Ali, Barbershop. He did a lot of TV, including recently Luck on HBO, and he's done a ton of theater as well. But what's kind of unusual and inspiring about Shabaka is that he's taken that sensibility and translated it into this show about Mingus, which jazz being one of Shabaka's great passions, and I think Mingus being one of his great heroes. He's taken that passion and all this great experience and created this really amazing show about an amazing man, and now we're poised to make a truly, I think, amazing and original look at a great American jazz artist.
Charles was not just a jazz composer. I mean, one of the shortcomings is that he was such a great jazz bassist that many of us are not aware of his great contributions to classical music in our culture. And for me, I think if you're at all interested in the depth and beauty of American music, culture, history, and art, this is a project where it all comes together in a very entertaining and heartfelt fashion.
Okay, well, thanks a lot for listening to our pitch. We're really looking forward to making this film. We all really fervently believe that this is going to be a great addition to the conversation about American culture, and please support us.
As you know, independent film, it's very difficult right now to get support, and this is a labor of love for all of us. Shabaka is an incredible actor, and we really feel that this message about Mingus and his life has to be told, and we need your support to get it done.
And also, I think that the story of Charles Mingus's life is where art and history intersect in an amazing fashion. I mean, if you think about jazz music, it is one of the greatest contributions that come from inside of this country to contribute to world culture. And for me, the passing of Charles Mingus it just sort of signifies the lack of recognition and respect that great artists have. I mean, according to Gunther Schuller, he says that along with Duke Ellington, Charles Mingus is the greatest jazz composer of the 20th century. And most people don't even know his name, so.
And Barry Shabaka Henley is Charles Mingus.
We'll celebrate him. Thank you.
At his last call, I call the last tune, this last dance, my last 10 breaths. We begin at the ending and move forward. I am dying. Papa Legua, here I come.